All right, morning everyone. Well, it's a good thing I went early because I may have some internet issues. So, hopefully that doesn't happen. But if it does, the stream will come right back up. All right, so let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, it looks like it's okay. So we're just going to let it go. And while I'm getting coffee, I'm just going to let y'all watch the fishies. Okay, so here is the talking portion of my stream. Hopefully, y'all can hear me because I didn't check my audio at all before I started this endeavor this morning. I just jumped right in and said, hey, let's show some fish. Oh, so this is day 2 of the Rice Fish Chronicles. I'm trying to figure out their breeding patterns. I know that they usually start getting the eggs at around 7, between 6 and 7:30 a.m. So anywhere in the next 45 minutes to an hour, she's going to be really full of eggs. I have 2 females, at least 2 females. So 2 females, 3 to 4 males. I know one is getting fertilized. At least one is getting the job done. And I'm not really sure where they're scattering the eggs. I did find some in my mop, so I'm going to be moving the mop after the stream and putting a new one in. But yeah, that's what's going on with the rice fish. I promise by tomorrow's stream, I will clean my aquarium glass because it is looking kind of spotty from the water. I just noticed that. I was like, oh, looking at it from an angle, I can see every speck and spot. That's driving me nuts. Also, we have hermosas in the tank. They are hiding in that big clump of moss that has been dubbed Moss Mountain, Mountain Moss, Moss, yeah, Mount Mossimo. There we go. So you'll see them occasionally swimming in and out, and there's a mama that likes to pretty much stay in there. And I'm still trying to chase that one little guy out. He needs to go in a quarantine tank. Well, not really a quarantine tank. He's got an arch in his spine. So I don't really want him to keep breeding with the females. So we're gonna put him in another tank as soon as I can catch him. And in the next few days, I will be adding some shrimp to the tank. So we're gonna end up with quite a little, you know, community going on in here. Try to get some of the blue shrimp breeding in this tank as well. And as the rice fish continue to um, breed, hopefully, um, I am going to move them to their own separate tank. But for now, this is working, so we're just going to let it keep working. I am very proud of the moss. I have learned to grow some really good moss. I have tons of moss. I really should sell some of it because that's just one of the 9 clumps of moss I have. And each one is bigger and more impressive than the last. I have a whole 10-gallon tank that is wall to wall moss. I think I've mastered the moss growing. Now if I could just get all my other plants to, follow suit. Honestly, I think it grows so well in this tank because all of the fish are constantly nipping on it. And, so the more you cut a plant, the better it grows. And this thing's just been growing. It literally started as a dime-sized piece of moss stuck to a rock. And from there, that's been about 4 months worth of growth and trimming and everything right there. And I did trim it down some before I put it in the tank, but it's already been a couple of weeks and it's kind of started growing again. Thank you, Ninja. I plan on doing them probably for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be here in the mornings, trying to get my morning schedule, back on schedule. So I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. I figured I might as well do something constructive with the time instead of just watching TV. Yeah, the first tank I put my moss in, it really didn't do so well, but I think I know why. But it was also my first tank. I did I did well with some of the plants. I finally killed my hair grass, my dwarf hair grass. So I was really sad about that. I just couldn't get it to go. It just wouldn't spread. And vals, I have learned to grow Vallisneria. I've got tank upon tank of that stuff. And I have some in this tank too. It's just back in the corner. I'm just letting it do its thing back there. So hopefully in a while it's already doubled in size. So I'm pretty happy about that, considering this tank's not even a month old. Um, but the plants have really seemed to have started settling in. Got some new growth here and there. Hey, nerd. Yeah, I meant to tell you, I killed the hair grass finally. It is all gone. I kept that little piece of hair grass going for almost a year and a half, but he is gone now. I do like vowels too because you can pop them in a tank, and if you've got food for them, they're gonna grow. You're gonna have forever plants. So I do like vowels for that purpose. And you can trim them. Okay, so that's what happened with mine. It just and okay, I did make a big mistake with my dwarf peargrass. So when I stuck it in the tank, I stuck it right next to a to an Amazon sword, which ended up shading it out and just covering it. But that little guy was a fighter. He was a fighter. Hey, Firsty, I haven't seen you in forever. How you doing, buddy? I'm hoping I'm not, annoying the fish. Usually in the morning, I'm out here, but no one's talking. So this is their quiet time in the house when, everyone's still asleep or I'm watching TV. So, and I'm thinking my big mama, that Formosa back there, she's been sticking real close to the moss. So I'm thinking she's about to have some new babies. And it's about time because the other babies are starting to get a little bigger. Yes, also please do the YouTubey things, like the live stream, share, subscribe, all those fun things. Do the YouTubey things. Start the day out right. Do the YouTubey things. Now I'm really gonna annoy the fish. I'm gonna crack open a bubble water. Yes, I am still a fan of the bubble water. It is the OG drink of choice at the Flying Mouse Aquatics. I suggest everyone drink it. It's good stuff. It's just soda water. That's all it is. I haven't had coffee yet, so I need caffeine, but water is gonna have to work for now. Sorry, I should have muted while I did that. That was real rude. Rice fish. Okay, y'all. I haven't kept a lot of fish. I have had a lot of fish. Um, they are faking it again. They're really. I don't know. These boys are just. I don't know what's going on with my quarries, but they're just not doing it. I'm gonna do yet another cold water change. I'm hoping maybe with the weather change that'll kick them into gear. So you know, we'll see what happens. The girls are ready for it. They're all ready, but the guys are just like, yep. So the hunt for some more boys are coming. Uh, just the actual bubble service variety. Hi, Lottie, it's Nature. How's it going? Good to see you. Okay, back to what I was saying though. I haven't kept a lot of fish. I've had a lot of fish, but I haven't had a lot of different species of fish. I see why everyone likes the rice fish. I really do. When I saw them in the bag at the swap meet, I had reservations. I walked by it. I saw them, and I was like, one, it was a bit pricey. Two, it was they didn't. You couldn't really see them that great, and it wasn't until I got them home and they were less stressed, and I saw that brilliant platinum streak down their back. I was like, oh my god, that's beautiful. And it gets the boys, it gets like when they're trying to get with the girls, it gets really bright. They are so pretty. So I see why everyone likes them. Plus, they spawn every morning. I mean, I've only had them 3 weeks tops now, and I already can tell you when the females drop their eggs, like almost to the time. Like I know they're gonna have their first feeding. I usually feed them every morning at 5 a.m. I come out here, give them a little food, and then the sun comes up and they're both full of eggs. Hey, good to see you. Belinda's. I'm sorry, I want to read that right. Belinda's crystal and succulent garden. I love succulents. I always kill them, but that's the one plant I have the hardest time with is the succulent variety. I can't keep the cactus alive. I can't any of them. I just nope. A tomato plant, yes. Anything else? Mm. Well, except for the moss. I'm really good at growing moss too. Cat Ninja might be onto us. Not a cult, but it might be a cult. I am excited about getting the rainbows. Oh, We like the better halves. I'm sure Mr. Mousy is probably at work in the bushes somewhere watching. He was peeking in on us yesterday. I wasn't really talking much, so it was just a lot of music. But I didn't want to interrupt him too much. Like I said, normally they don't have me out here sitting in front of the tanks, much less putting a camera on them this early in the morning. So, like, that's another thing I want to get them used to is people being out here this early and the camera on them. Because some fish can be temperamental like that. Like my Corys. Usually I come out here and they scatter. They're like, nope, we're gone. They're like, you're out here and it's too early. Hey, Black Powder Aquatics, good to see ya. Yeah, and the more I'm out here, the more they'll, be like, oh, well, she's up and she's about, and we can still do our thing. She's not gonna bother us. The angels are probably real mad at me right now because I haven't fed them yet. And yeah, so after the stream, I'm gonna be getting a big what for from them. Yep, I think she's getting ready to drop her eggs soon. I've been trying to look for like signs of when it happens. I need to go back and watch today's stream and yesterday's stream and just see what happens just before she drops them and starts carrying them around. It's just really fascinating. I also didn't know that little bitty fish could bend, the way they bend. So I know Mr. Mousey's gonna give it to me later. He's gonna be like, "Why did you not feed my fish? Why did you let them go hungry?" Because he totally has stolen my angels. You've never seen the rice fish before? Oh, that's so cool. Um, they were marked as the platinum Madaka rice fish. That's all I had to go home from the swap meet. I do need to look up and actually get like their whole species name, which is something I haven't done yet. I've watched a lot of videos on breeding them, and I was reading something last night that said that they're jumpers, but I haven't had any issues with them jumping. And I don't have a lid on this tank, but now I think I might need to put one on, which I mean, I guess any fish could really jump out of a tank. It's just, it could happen. I haven't had any issues. Um, I do a lot. Sorry, I'm really trying to quit that. Yeah, I I really like the live bears because they're easy. I mean, you add water, you get more fish. They're great. I mean, you don't feed them, you change the water, you get them in a cycle tank, and they do the work. It's like, bam, more fish. These have been a little bit more intensive, having to watch them, having to figure out when they're going to breed and where they're putting the eggs because they're not always getting them in the mops, but there's going to be a bunch of little babies in here eventually. So yeah, but yeah, for my first like egg scatterer that I've had to actually collect the eggs from, you know, yes, there are my whiskers. Yes, I did get fish from the swamp meet. um, dang, now I'm doing it again. Okay. The bristlenose plecos. I do love those. I love the bristlenose plecos. The first time they had eggs, so here's little backstory. Um, my friend Fish Nerd here sent me a pair of bristlenose plecos dubbed Mr. Whiskers or Dagwood and Blondie. He was a chocolate, she's a longfin albino. And, got a cave, got him a tank, and um she laid eggs and he promptly kicked them out of the cave. He just like whoop out the cave. There they go. There's your pile of eggs. And I was like, well, what do I do with these? So Fish Nerd walked me through how to set up a little nursery with an air stone, floating it in the tank to keep them warm. They hatched. Like that was whew. And sadly, as the first time you breed fish or have eggs, only like two made it out of that little batch of 20, but it was a great learning experience. I just did it. See, now I'm very yeah, now I'm very cautious of the ums. So now Mr. and Mrs. Whiskers are like breeding like crazy. I've got a whole 10-gallon tank full of little babies. And they did have a slight separation because I got another longfin albino. So I put Mrs. Whiskers with the longfin male. I'm hoping they will breed together. If not, she'll go back to Mr. Whiskers. And on the jumpers. So here's the craziest thing. I have not been fish keeping very long. Um, as like as seriously doing it as a hobbyist, it's been close to 2 years. Yeah, I started in 2022, 2023. Okay, it's been over a year, maybe going on to two. I haven't had a jumper yet, but I have had snails just crawl out of a tank. I had two mystery snails climb up and out of a tank, and then I realized, okay, I need to plug those holes. Most of my tanks, though, do have lids. So that's probably another reason why I haven't had any jumpers is because of the lids. So I've got some mesh that I'm gonna put on top of this tank just to kind of keep them in. Gonna work on that today too. I would, because I really would hate for one to just jump right out of the tank. My cat would be like, heck yeah, that's a cat treat. I'm totally eating it. Like, I'm down for that little fishy treat. They did go on a magic mystery snail tour, and I found them behind my entertainment center. And I was like, what happened here? I was like, how did you guys get that far? Like that, oh. And see, I really want to try to breed the killifish. I really do. So I'm gonna have to make sure I have tanks with lids. And I do want to get eventually Scarlet Batis. I'm not ready for them yet, but I will be eventually. And that's kind of like the fish. I just want. I don't know why I'm so hell bent on getting a Scarlet Batis. I used to be that way about the pea puffers, but now it's the Scarlet Batis. That's the one I really want to keep. But in time, I've got plenty of time here. Oh, that's so sad. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I all this came at the direction of Fish Nerd. He has taught me everything I know. From the leaves to the wood. I do need to get some rocks in here. That was the only thing I was missing. I needed to get some more rocks. And I do have to de-snail my quarry tank. I'm thinking that might be another reason they're just not doing their thing. So yeah, I'm working on cleaning that tank up. It just kind of, yeah, the snail population exploded in there, and it is time to eradicate them. The ram's horn population. And I do kind of want to get like a darker sand, either some darker brown or even black sand, and maybe put like a light layer on top because, sand isn't really one color in nature. So I usually the sand that I get has been not as fine a grain as this one and a little more textured in color. But this is what they had, so this is what I got. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I might just go get a bag of black sand and just mix it in, or a darker color, give the tank a little bit of little texture there. Not a lot, just enough to spread it through the top. Yeah, yeah. Like and absolutely some snails are great for the tank because they clean up what the fish can't get or if you have quarries, what they miss. So it's totally a great thing. I even actually threw a couple of ram's horns in this one just so we'd have, some cleanup crew. I learned my lesson on the play sand. That was the first sand I bought because we grabbed the wrong one. And yeah, you were right. You can't clean it. I mean, no matter what you do, you just can't get it clean. It just takes too long. And yeah, so no more play sand ever. The Rams do great. I just had them really over tank a tank. pretty bad just because I wasn't pulling them out as I saw them. You know, it's like when you see a couple of extra ones, pull them out here and there. And I got lax on that on this one tank, and they did kind of take over. So they're out competing, you know, like my mystery snails for food, which isn't a good thing. So you're having to put more food, which creates a bigger problem. But I am, as I've been seeing them, I've been just plucking them out, like the ones that are all on the top or the edge of the tank that I can just grab real easy. Yeah, I just grab all those out now. But I do need to make sure I'm doing that a little bit more often, and I think it'll be under control. My angelfish tank, they eat all of the eggs. If the ram's horns lay the eggs, they're gonna pick them off and eat them as a treat. So yeah, that was another issue that I had with it. Like it just the whole bottom of that tank was just bad. It was so bad. I did have to start over and go get the proper sand. I was like, I can't use this. I couldn't because I couldn't even get the plants down into it. I was like, nope, no more play sand. Done with that. Bad idea. Bad idea. I didn't have an issue with smell or anything, but yeah, it just the cloudiness and how gritty it was, and it was just a mess. I'm wondering if the girls are getting ready to do their thing. What time is it? 6:51. Yep, sun is about to come up here in just a few, so they should be getting ready to do their thing. It was crazy. Like yesterday, it was like 1 minute they didn't have eggs, the next minute they did. What are you two doing back there? They're like, those two boys are going at it. Tomorrow, tomorrow when I set up for the stream, because I'm gonna be here tomorrow, from about 6 a.m. to roughly 7:30 a.m. I'm gonna set up instead of the front view of the tank, I'm gonna set up the side view, where you can see the moss at a different angle. Because when I look at it from the other side, you can actually see how many of the formosas are hiding in that moss, and it is so cool. And it's like there's like little layers of them. It's like you get the little babies at the bottom, and then the bigger ones towards the middle, and like the adults are just at the edges, swimming in and out, kind of like they're just protecting all of the little guys in there. You know what? Yes, there were some eggs in the first mop I placed in there. So I'm going to be moving that out today and switching a new mop. I am going to pause this camera real quick, and I am going to show Greg my Corey tank with the snail issue, that I'm working on, you know, getting back into its glory days. So yeah, just gonna have a blank screen for a sec, but I'll be right back. All right, let me get this camera moved. I'm a mess this morning, y'all. Move my tweezers out of the way because I was, cleaning up in that tank. That is my quarry tank. I've got my baby plecos in there and my long fins for right now. And I'm letting these plants grow in. But this is my 29 gallon. And I've got some pea gravel mixed in with the sand. Got some anubias in here. I got a couple of pieces of driftwood. Of course, I have an at and a robot because there's backstory to that too. Um, but yeah, that's my 29 gallon tank that I'm trying to figure out why the plants are just not liking me too much in that one. Trying to get some more fertilizer in it and get those plants growing better. Oh, let me. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna reposition the camera just a wee bit. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, there we go. So yeah, if you can find the Madaka rice fish, I highly suggest them. And this is just from the first 3 weeks of me keeping them. And I don't have babies yet, but I'm pretty sure I will in the next 11 days. I didn't notice until the second week I had them that she was putting eggs out. Otherwise, I would have already had mops. I should have already had mops in there. And the boys weren't actually showing interest though until earlier this week. Like I didn't notice them doing the chasing. So I don't think any of the first eggs she had actually got fertilized, but I could be wrong about that too. Just because I didn't see it happen doesn't mean it didn't happen. And they're getting really big here in America. A year ago, I couldn't find them locally at all. And when I was at my local aquarium club's swap meet, two or three people had them for sale. By the time I decided that I did want to get them, only one person had them left, and the price wasn't really that bad. I got six. Um, Two were more juvenile, and four were closer to adult or adults, and it was $35. So it wasn't really a bad price considering how many people want them and how quick they were selling. She could have put a bigger price tag on them and probably got it. So I was happy I did get them. Was not so happy I didn't find some quarries. They had quarries, just not the quarries that I wanted at the time. So maybe next time I will. I'll get some. But yeah, these have been real fun. I am very happy with having snagged them. I did. I sat there going, should I get them? Should I not get them? My kids were like, Mom, you have to make a decision. It's like you either get them or you don't. Ooh. Oh, albino pandas. Cool. I've got the green Aeneas. Is it the green Aeneas? I believe it is. Yeah, Fish Nerd was we have a local fish club, one that's trying to get organized and one that's been organized. Fish Nerd's been telling me since we started, get involved with the fish club, get involved with the fish club. And I finally did, and I'm so glad I did. I do want to get some of the. So the plan for this tank was to put my formosas in here, my leaf killies, and I was gonna get some Santa Maria endlers, but I'm still getting them. They just haven't gotten here yet. My Santa Maria endlers were gonna go in with them, but I got the rice fish first, so they went in here. I was also going to get some auto sinkless and put those in this tank, but then I got a deal on some of the blue shrimp at an auction. So, all that being said, that's what this tank's going to end up being. Formosas, rice fish, and blue shrimp. And my endlers are going to go in with another set of my plecos. And it's going to be kind of a setup like this, but with caves. And probably just more valves in it. But yeah, and definitely some moss for the endlers to hide in. Yeah, so that's the plan for that. And I have to get everything ready for everything. I have a lot of stuff coming this week, so I have got to. Yeah, I did take long enough. Of course Stella's still giving me issues. Like I'm getting her out of that tank. I swear she's coming out of that tank today because she has to go in with Mr. Whiskers. He's ready for a girlfriend. So yeah, she's gonna go in there right now. But yeah, Stella's coming out of my angel tank today and going in with Mr. Whiskers. They're gonna be ready for their endlers to come, move in and be roommates. And hopefully my long fins will start breeding soon. But if it takes some time, it takes some time. There's no rush on it. I do have plenty of fleckos right now. And I am going to start making some of the I found a tutorial from Aquarium Co-op with Dean and Corey on how to make these indoor pond buckets. And it's air driven. It uses a pre-filter sponge and PVC, and it just cycles the water. And I'm going to set up a couple of those to grow out fry and even make like one for like a quarantine tank too. So I'm gonna make up like three of those, hopefully this weekend. I've got a whole list of to-dos to do, and I've been busy getting a lot of it done. Oh, again, I'm going to move the camera. So it was about a month and a half ago. Fish Nerd sent me a package, and it was some aquarium uh, stuffed caves, gang valves for the aquariums, uh, an aquarium, like a little one with a little lid, and a bunch of air pumps. Just sent me like a bunch of goodies, and I haven't really broken into much of it except for the caves yet and the tank because I set that up too. But I did something this morning because I had airline tubing going everywhere. And I know Fish Nerd might have noticed something different with the air filters, how they kind of look, where they're sitting. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Oh, and the Python. Oh my God. Python. I could talk about that Python for hours. I love that thing. If you don't have a Python system or even DIY a Python system because it can be done, I strongly suggest you do it. It's like the best thing ever, especially if you don't want to lug buckets of water because I was doing that and that sucked. That sucked real bad. But I'm gonna pause so I don't make y'all, motion sickness with the camera moving. But look what I did this morning, fish nerd. Ha ha ha. I put a little valve on there. Look at me being all fixing my stuff up. I do think I need a smaller heater for this tank, but it's doing its job for right now. It's a 25 watt, it's a 10-gallon tank. It's probably fine. I just kind of want to keep this tank around 72, 74-ish. It has been fun. So I had a foot issue going on for a while, and I couldn't really walk around or do a lot. So, watching the fish has been really relaxing because I was real stressed out. It's a great hobby if you want to relax or, even the plants, trimming them, moving them. That's been a lot of fun. It's been slow, but I have been getting it done. So there's that. These guys are due for a water change today. So I think I'm going to get on that because the shrimp should be here tomorrow. I need to check the tracking on that. It is all the endorphins. Yeah, she's getting ready to do her egg thing. She's going to come out of that moss and she's going to have a whole batch of eggs in just a minute. Watch. That's going to be the craziest thing. It just happens in like a blink. Oh, she found the snacks in the moss. She's like, I found food. I could give a whole commentary on what they're doing. Oh, the eels should be here Thursday or Friday as well. I'm starting a vinegar eel culture as well. I probably need to either do a live stream on it or film it. Picked up my all the jars I need for them tomorrow, and I'm still looking for some baby food jars for, once I get a lot of the culture going, I'll probably either, sell some or, something like that. Yeah, it's wild how quick they just do it. It's last night. I don't know if she had a second batch of eggs, but it was like 10 p.m. and she still had eggs. And then 5 minutes later, they were gone. And then I went to bed. So Okay, sun just came up. So in just a minute, we should notice that the rice fish are carrying eggs if it goes the way it's been going the last few mornings. It's so cool because like one minute they don't have like any eggs around their anal fins, and then the next thing there's just a big bubble of them. And it also might have been that too. Because I've been trying to figure out exactly how the whole process goes. That's kind of, yeah, that's what I'm doing. But, it's, oh, that's a good idea too, man. So hopefully, and I need to check the moss too for eggs because I'm sure there's some in there too. Morning, babe. This is my better half right here. So he's always so happy. Fish are friends and food, Darth. They're friends and food. And brine shrimp are not food. They don't taste very good. All right. So there's one mama down there, and that's a guy that's chasing her around. Where is my other mama at? Where you at, lady? They're always so active. Yeah, just fishies doing fishy things. Eventually, I'm going to get some of the footage with the Well, thank you for coming, GB Shrimp. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm probably only going to be live for another 10 or 15 more minutes. But it's kind of giving me some issues at the moment. So I'm about to go get off of it. But I do kind of want to film these guys for a little bit longer just because I haven't noticed her holding her eggs, but I may have missed it. She may have scattered them that quick. But I can go back and watch and exactly see, how they did their thing today. So, and again, like I said, it's the weirdest thing. Like sometimes they have them and they drop them real quick, and sometimes it takes all day. Yeah, the sun just came up here, and just waiting to see if like we get any more eggs or if they start doing anything else. Yeah, I've been keeping them on a strict schedule too. Of when I feed them, because I always feed them at around 5 a.m. and then I feed them again at 8 before I turn their lights off. Yes, I am on Eastern Standard Time. It's 7:14 a.m. here at the moment. Um, I'm in Georgia in the U.S. But yeah. So yeah, I've been keeping them kind of like on a strict schedule of what I'm how I'm feeding them when I turn their lights off and on, making sure I do it at the same time, kind of like giving them a schedule, because everyone loves a good schedule, and apparently so do these guys because I mean I've just noticed I started noticing it over the weekend that they had like a pattern going. And I just wanted to, just kind of check it out and make sure if that's what I was really seeing. Because I've kept bristlenose, the puckos, and they're egg layers. And I have angelfish, but they're not laying eggs yet either. So these are like my first like egg scatterers. And I've had endlers, I've had guppies, I have the least killies now, and I had the Scipia multipunctatas. Hey, life lessons crew, good to see ya. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, I don't know like what their pattern of behavior is yet. So, kind of live streaming helps me be able to go back and just watch their behaviors. I and it's kind of fun, to go back and say, "Oh, I missed that." I'm really excited for the shrimp to get in here because, you know, that moss mountain is kind of cool. The back of it, it's kind of like grabbing towards the wall. Like I said, I'm gonna do a different camera angle tomorrow so y'all can see the back side or the middle of the moss from a different angle. Also, you know what's really hard? If you have, okay, so your hobby is aquariums, right? And of course, it involves a lot of water, right? But then you get told that you can't get your feet wet. And it's like, man, I'm always getting like everything wet. Like I'm always splashing water everywhere when I'm playing in the aquariums. It's like this has been a hard past 2 weeks, y'all, and I have to go 2 more weeks because they just did the other foot. Alert, I've gotten my feet wet. So thank you so much, Life Lesson Crew. I've been trying to, keep them clean and keep the fishies happy. Hopefully, in 2 weeks, we'll be here with baby rice fish. I'm very excited for that possibility, or sooner, because there may already be, you know, eggs in this tank that I just did not notice. More than likely, there's already eggs in here. That's how I've noticed fish before. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's babies in here. My mimosas are just chilling. So my mimosas, after I got them, I always got real worried about it because I always noticed they were close to the bottom of the tank. Then I noticed they're always at the bottom of the tank. Like if they're in the moss, like the babies, I am still finding the baby Formosas in the tank that I moved them from, I used gravel in their old tank, and that was a mistake. If you're ever going to keep the least killies, do not put them in gravel because you will never find all the babies. It's going to be months before I get them all out. So, yeah, pro tip there. Don't use gravel with the Formosas. Sorry, y'all. I'm just, watching the fish. I should really put some background music on. I'm gonna put some light music on in the background while we're watching for the last 10 minutes. Okay, everyone, I am going to call it a day for today, and I will be back tomorrow morning and or evening, wherever you may be. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And, give your fishy friends some love. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.